All right, folks, welcome to a market recap. And this is a semi-weekly market recap going over Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And as I said on my multi-market forecast for DXY and EU, I did want to see retracements to close in a fair price. And it did that, but I only wanted it to go to the 50% mark of the retracement, no longer lower, because it was an SMT. Now, what happened was it went below it. And on Monday, I was obviously bearish, but I didn't have any execution trades because the market never popped above an old high. So I never had a way to execute to the downside. So I didn't execute. On Tuesday, I was bullish. And excuse my way I speak right now. Very, you could say sick. I don't give a shit though. I'm still gonna do my work regardless if I'm sick or not. Ears hurting, head is hurting, the mouth is hurting for some reason. You can see there's a little difference in the facial structure, and the tongue is hurting. Something happens. It happens. Really cool, but shit hurts in the ear, especially. I don't know, but I don't give a shit. All right. But Monday we were bearish. So what happened on Monday was that I was bearish, right? But we never had a setup. On Tuesday, I was like, okay, market retraced to my weekly target already. So what I'm gonna do is the monthly candle looks a little bit off here, right? It's a big ass wick. Since the monthly candle is a classical candle, it doesn't need to go up higher. So I'm gonna be bullish, right? And as you guys know, in the last month of the last week of the month, we always use week 3 as a CRT. Now, on Tuesday, once we had that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be looking for longs. So I was looking for a New York continuation, and obviously, you guys know, if I were to execute, I would have been stopped out. You can see obviously, and this is how you gotta know the difference between the higher time frame and the lower time frame. The higher time frame is important, right? Drawn liquidity. But drawn liquidity is, once you know how it works, it's very easy to get it. The lower time frame is the problem, because the lower time frame, there's much more candles, right? So no lower time frame, looking for more than just a trade, right? A lot of you guys do say that, once the low is placed, anything you enter afterward will work out. No, you will not. Why will it not? Because of the stop loss placement. Where do you enter matters, right? Your stop loss placement and the validation of the lower time frame. And what do I mean by the validation of lower time frame? Like the 4-hour, 1 hour, right? The daily profiles, right? In this case, we're looking for a new situation. And you probably wonder, like, what would be the validation of the trade and why did it fail? During a time where it's supposed to tap, the entry never got tapped, right? And don't worry about that. What you got to worry about is the lower time frame time and the daily profile aspects, right? So the daily profile and the time aspect is what's going to validate your setup. That's a bigger picture now. Now that is playing as a higher time frame for you in a lower time frame. Now what you gotta do is go to the lower time frame and validate your setups. Basically, validate your pattern. Look for your whatever pattern you look for. Marble 1, total soup, third drive, fake double top, fake double bottom, and validate it and look for lower time frame, even more than that. They look for execution and execute, right? But if you don't have the higher time frame, which is the lower time frame, once you go in at 15 minutes, the higher time frame is going to be the 4 hour, going to be the higher time frame, right? It's going to play the higher time frame during that specific time. So you want the higher time frame to validate it. So how do you validate it? Is by OTE, New York continuation, New York reversals, right? And a lot of you guys wondering, like, why do I not trade London, right? The reason why I don't trade London is because New York moves are way more trustworthy, right? When in New York confirms something, it's going to work out. New York confirmed the move and it eventually worked out beautifully, right? So when New York confirms something, it's going to work out, right? Because New York is the, it's a time, it's a world currency. It's a time where the most amount of money get into the market. So if it confirms something, there's a lot of fucking things that are going to happen. Most of the things that happens are in what? In fucking New York, right? This reversal in New York confirms and validates moves, right? If I have a London move, I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna take it only when New York validates it, because to me, as you guys obviously, not to me, to the whole world, the Wall Street, or whatever you guys call it, the New York Stock Exchange, the EURUSD are the most liquid market, where $1 trillion comes every single day, and they specifically come during New York, right? New York is one, is the most volatile, right? Obviously, because fucking New York, like America is the world currency, right? USD is the world currency. So during the New York session is where a lot of money come into the market. So when a move like that happens from New York, I trust it way more than a London session, because London session isn't the fucking world currency. It's USD. Although USD is weaker than EU, it's still the world currency, right? Because the power they hold, the military, right? EU is such a fucking small country. It doesn't even matter what the country. It matters about that USD is the world currency. And how do we know that? If you go to every fucking country, when they trade, who do you use? Fucking USD, right? What do they use? USD. They use USD, right? So now, that's why you have to wait for the lower time frame confirmation. Let the New York session validate your setup. The London session may have validated your setup, but it failed because New York did it. People want to like, New York had an OTE, but it still fucking failed. How? Now, this is where it comes time. When it did the OTE, it did it outside the time. And what time am I talking about? Am I talking about the PM session or the AM session? I'm talking about from a Pacific time. What I'm talking about is from 6 a.m. to, what do you think? 10:30 a.m. And we both wonder, well, like, why not 12 p.m.? Why not 12 p.m.? Why not 11 a.m.? Why just 10:30 a.m.? Because these times are the time where the market likes to. It's not like it's not a time where the market likes to take a lot of liquidity. It's a time where the market is most volatile. When it's most volatile, there's student soups, right? Basically, there's people getting out, getting in, getting out, getting in. So market makers are taking out people left and right. So during this specific time, you see right when it hits 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., market is moving. So after 10:30 a.m., after you purchase and you get a confirmation and you take a trade, it just goes without waiting, right? Just like this. During this time, the move happened at 11 a.m., but by the time you purchased it out was during the 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. because these are the time where the market is the most volatile. Right? These are the time, especially around 8 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And you guys know the stock exchange opens at 9 a.m. or 9:30. And it goes till 10:30 was where it's most volatile. That's why you guys see a macro being at 9:15 to 10:10, right? Because during this time, or in the middle, which is the manipulation. As you guys know, accumulation is the first half, manipulation is the second half, expansion the third half, right? So the middle is when it's most volatile, which is the manipulation, where a lot of people are getting out, getting in, right? It may sound like, oh, I'm not trying to sound like, it's something that's cool, right? This is like, how can I say this? I'm not trying to sound trading like it's, oh yeah, there's market makers, this, that. What matters is how the market moves, right? And I don't give a shit. Market is getting out, market's getting out 10 trillion, 20 trillion a fucking day. I don't give a shit. Right? What I care about is it's my pocket growing, right? It is cool. I don't give a shit about that, but through this pattern is how it validates it, right? And these patterns are from ICT and Romeo, right? Mainly ICT because he's the one who figured out everything first. That eventually Romeo picked off where he left off and filled in some gaps that, you know, ICT failed to do, which was the execution part. And, you know, he did his due diligence, right? Now, I wonder, like, on Tuesday, why did it not go higher to the target, but then eventually went down? Now, why is it going up higher, right? Why? Think about it. Now, if you go down to lower time frame, let's say what confirms, and when I say about New York OTE, New York OTE needs to be, when it taps the OTE, the 50% mark, it needs to be tapped between 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Why again? Because it's the time where it's most volatile, right? The time where it takes a total soup. So when it retraces back down to it, you know, it's more volatile because when it retraces back down, it's taking some sort of liquidity, right? So it's basically purging out, right? At the time he got tapped was what time? 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Right at 11 a.m., there's no more volatility, right? There is volatility. Look what happened after 11 a.m. Shitty price action, right? Slow, slow, slow. Yes, it still went down, but very shitty and slow. You can see there's one big candle, right? These candles are ripping off, right? Because they're in the AM session on where the market is the most volatile, right? You can see the actual session is from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. for purges, right? The time you can actually trade is from 6 a.m. to 12, right? So the purging time is different than the trading time. Purging time is basically to validate your setup, to validate if the market will, you know, not reverse from here on forward and just go up higher, right? And the trading time is to wait for the extra confirmation that may take a little while for it to form a lower time frame. Then you execute it, right? So the difference between the purging time, the difference between the manipulation time and the trading time, right? There's a little difference, like an hour or two, a different hour and a 2 hour, 2 hour difference. And as I said again, I apologize for the way I speak. Every time I talk, it kind of fucking hurts me, but you know, you can't be a bitch. You can't be a bitch, all right, chat? You cannot be a bitch, all right? So that's what happened, right? You didn't validate it during the right time, and as well as the New York OT. So I could have taken the straight up to the upside here, right? I could have taken the setup to the upside. But what fucking happened? What happened, chat? What happened? It fucking failed, right? If I want to like, you could have profit out of here. Chat, I'm trying to take trades where it can profit me the higher time frame, it can profit 14 RR, right? My recent trade, 24 RR, right? I could profit 30 RR, 40 RR, 50, 60, 70, 80 RR. I don't want to fucking get 10. I don't want to get fucking 3 RR. I want to get 14. That's how the big money plays, right? And keep in mind, the market makers, although they make much less in a yearly basis, like 10, 50%, but their RR is so fucking high. They make a lot of fucking RR, right? So this trade, I ain't taking that shit, right? Why? Because rules, because there's an OTE, and the OTE number got met, so you fucking failed. Second, time wasn't there, right? So even if its OTE gets met, but if it gets met at the wrong fucking time, what did it matter? He did reflect out of it a little bit, but did it fucking matter? No, he fucking still failed because time and price, they have to be perfectly there, because in trading, you can be damn near perfect, right? You can't chase the perfect entry, but the system is perfect. Basically, what that means is your entry won't be perfect, but what can be perfect on is like the higher time and how the market is supposed to move, right? But your entries won't be perfect. Through time, through you constantly executing, it probably will, but it takes time, right? You're not gonna take you fucking a month. It's gonna take you years, right? That's how ICT is able to predetermine the SMR and execute it right on spot, right? Give barely any drawdown because he has fucking 30 years of experience, right? And compare his to yours, right? There's a huge difference. Compare his to mine, huge difference, right? So I don't give a fuck about the entry difference, right? I do care about the stop loss placements. I do care about, the validation of the daily time of the 4 hour time frame because daily profile. I basically call it daily profile is what daily. This case I'm looking for a New York situation, right? But the New York OT must be supported. As you guys know, a candle opens like this, right? Open, right? And when it makes it like just consolidates a little bit. When it makes a high, when it goes down, boom, 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 OTE, boom, go down lower. Usually OT would be even, oh shit. So open, high. Now this will be OT, boom, all the way back inside this range or, go a little bit lower, tap it and go down lower, right? Eventually OTE, high of the day. And this is a New York continuation, right? And the OTE, all of the New York continuation supposed to go down, continue down, but you need to do a retracement, basically an OTE, right? So basically a deep retracement before doing so. Usually we'll tap the Asian breaker block, then go away, right? Now, you can see sometimes where the Lennon does a reversals. So it's going to be like this, right? So you're going to open, boom, a fucking age session or Lennon makes a high of the day for a little bit. Eventually goes down, boom. Eventually, since that was a fake out, what it's going to do is going to go up, range, boom, boom, little retrace, boom, 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 boom. All right, that's what's gonna happen, right? So open and fucking extension continues or launches, accumulates, manipulation, expansion. But since the high time is bullish, it's gonna accumulate again a little bit, manipulation, boom, retrace, so breaker block, order block, boom, go up higher, boom, boom, make a half the day close. That's how it's gonna work. Right, in this case, same thing right over here. Where did the market open? Right over here, open. It just continued. Notice it continued. New York accumulation a little bit. Manipulation. You can see at the time he manipulated was between 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Right. So as I said before, those are the time where the market those are the time where the market is the most volatile, meaning it's manipulation time. 6 a.m., 7 a.m. manipulation, boom. Why did 8 a.m. do, right? Isn't the 8 a.m. the actual true open? No. It's from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Push it out, then eventually reversal. Right? You can see when he reversed, guess what he did? Little retrace, tap some sort of order block breaker, eventually up higher. Now we go down to the lower time frame to determine if he taps it or not, right over here, right? After he reversed, go up higher, retrace back down, tap the breaker once again. Or you could say the breaker would be here, right? The breaker did get fucking super multiple times, but what offers better RR? This obviously offers better RR. So you're gonna enter on a auto lock, right? Enter long, boom, continues. Now, enough being said on the market recap. So what am I thinking where it's gonna be going tomorrow? I'm still bullish here because although this went down here, hit my I never had a trade here. Although it proved me wrong, but guess what? The lower time frame didn't validate it, so I didn't fucking take a trade. I could be wrong. Multiple times, but I don't give a shit if I'm wrong or not because what's gonna happen is, why don't I give a fuck? Why? Because just everything is important for me, right? The higher time frame is important, the lower time frame is important, everything is important, right? Then why is it so important for me, right? Why is it so important for me? Because if one is missing, then the whole shit crashes, right? If I have the execution wrong, the whole thing crashes. Doesn't matter if I have the high time frame right. If I have the high time frame right and execution right, but I don't have the day trading aspect of it, right, fails. So it's the same thing as trading, right? This is it's a quick little long video, but it will help you fucking, if we just pay attention to the next couple 5 minutes, it will help you so much, right? In trading, if you want to be profitable, what do you need? A positive, edge, positive edge. So what that means, over a longer term, you have a positive edge, which guarantees you to have percentage return over a longer term samples, right? So over large samples, you're actually making money. That's your edge. Next thing, you need to have position sizing, right? Position sizing, right? Some shitty random heading. Okay, that's shitty. I can just say sizing, right? Third thing you need is what? Psychology, right? Psychology control. But it's P control. What's the fourth thing you need? Risk management. What's the fourth thing you need? So 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the fifth one? What is the fifth one? We have the positive edge. We have the what? Right position sizing. We have the psychology control. And the rest one is what? Risk management. And I did say it's 5. Sort of the troll a little bit. So, if you said it was 5, you're a dickhead, okay? You're a dickhead. Congrats, you're a dickhead now. Alright, so, if you have the positive edge, and you have the right risk management, and you have the right psychology, but you're missing fucking position sizing, you can have the right risk management, right psychology control, and right edge. But if you're fucking risking, if you're trading with a 0.001 lot, how are you gonna fucking make money? No matter if you have this, you're not gonna make money. You're not gonna fucking make money. Let's say you have the right position sizing, you have the right psychology control, you have a good edge, but you don't have the risk management, you're gonna fucking fail. You could win 10 trades, you could win 9 trades out of 10. Last one, your risk too high, you lose it all. And do that over a longer term, you lose fucking everything. Same thing, the other one. You have the right risk management, you have the right, psychology control, you have the right position sizing, and you have the right, you don't have the edge. Basically, a strategy that is proven to work out, right? It's proven to work out. Right? It's proven. Robin's literally sick and I'm doing this shit, bro. Okay, so you have a right position size that is proven to work out. You don't have it, right? What I mean, you don't have it. What's gonna happen? You're gonna fucking fail. Why? You may have this right, you may have this right, you may have this right, but if you don't have a edge that performs over a long term, what's gonna happen? You're gonna fucking fail because you're gonna take trades that are shitty, and a setup doesn't fucking. This setup was beautiful, right? But it fucking failed because a high probability setup doesn't happen every single motherfucking day. Okay, focus on what should you focus on? Focus on everything, right? Same thing to just say psychology control. You have the right position sizing, you have the risk management, you have the positive edge, but you're an emotional trader. What's gonna happen? You're gonna suicide. Trust me, you're gonna fucking suicide. You're gonna quit. You're gonna suicide. You're going to fucking say all this shitty stuff because no matter how much you have, the right risk management, the right position sizing, and the risk management, what's gonna happen is you're gonna fucking suicide, or you're going to get emotional, you're gonna be a bitch, you're going to do all of this crazy shit and lose yourself, which is going to what? Collapse the whole fucking tower, right? So you need to have the 4 pillars. I think there's another pillar, but I'm not sure. Yeah, these are the only this is the only one you need, right? I thought it was 5 pillars. So I'm a dickhead now. No, I'm not. I'm joking. A teacher, not a teacher. a I like to say myself a goat. No, a Don. All right, fucking corny ass name. Okay, what are you gonna call me? Whatever I am. But you must have everything. Same to this. If you don't look. Same thing. You that is the overall in trading part. Now the trading that's overall in general trading part. Now the system, if you have the higher time frame, right, and you have the lower time frame, like let's say the day trading time frame confirmation, and you have the execution time frame. I don't know if I spelled it right. All right, so sitting here, if you have the higher time frame, right, you're bullish, right? We know we're bullish. You know you're right, right? But we have the lower time frame wrong. Is it the daily trading aspect? Day trading aspect wrong, because we want to go bullish, right? You can see today was beautiful to go longs, but yesterday was fucking ass, right? You failed. So you have the day trading aspect wrong, and you have the execution aspect right. What's gonna happen is you have the right execution, total soup. Oh, you can go up higher. You have the high spin correct because your market overall gonna go up higher, but you have the day trading wrong. You're going to fucking fail, right? You probably want to the market will never be perfect like this. The market is fucking perfect. The system is perfect, by the way. How the fuck do people still fail? Because it's the operator error, right? People make mistakes. We're human beings. We make psychology mistakes. But how can we get to a stage where we don't do that? We're gonna make that still, but through repetition, we know okay, we can be damn near perfect, but we still chase it, right? Because there's what in trading perfect on the operator version is gonna be having entry to the tick, which is gonna take you years and years and years, and after years and years and years, you're probably not still gonna have it because you have to go in really in depth, right? Which there's already patterns to it, but this is what matters, right? This matters, right? Because when you have the pattern to get the entry to the tick, it's going to be execution. But if you have this wrong, any of these wrong, you're going to fail, right? And trading, when there's a high public setup like this, you would full long up, right? There's always everything aligned here, right? Lower time frame aligned, the day trading aspect aligned, the higher time aspect aligned, and eventually it worked out beautifully. And I'm always right. And I'm not saying this with the ego, right? You can see my fucking my trading aspect. He was like, bro, this guy's a beautiful guy, handsome, young, very intelligent, very proficient on his trading. But it took me a fucking long time to get here, right? Chat, after 22 losing streak, right? 22 losing streak, back to back, no wins in between. After losing a lot of money, I got here, right? But if I were to cut it down, I would have focused on this, and everything must align. If one is missing, it's gonna fail. Same thing I think I showed you guys. If one misses, everything fails. Everything collapses. Now let's see another example. You have the higher time frame correct, you have the lower time frame day trading aspect correct, like this. Well, execution is wrong. You enter fucking wrongly. You enter on this total soup, thinking I'm gonna go up higher. So you put your stop loss here, you stop loss, right? But when well, how could you avoid this? So when you do the execution version, right, the execution is gonna be based on your stop loss and where do you enter. And what's the last part? Time. So for day trading, time matters. For execution, time matters, right? Higher time frame, time matters as well, but in a broader version, right? So you guys get it now, right? Everything fucking matters, right? But when you're like, I can't be perfect. it's some bullshit, right? You could be damn near perfect in trading, especially trading is different. Trading is different. I see this market going up higher in my direction, but I might fucking like, you know, this is what I'm talking about, psychology control. Am I following like, oh shit, market's going up higher, market's going up higher. I should have taken the trade over here. My system basically said, you don't trade until Thursday. Thursday is going to be the one to confirm whether you're going to get in the trade or not. So they're like, why? Because Wednesday or not a reversal day, right? Because market's overall going to go down, right? So Thursday are reversals, right? So I was like, okay, what about midweek reversal? What about midweek low of the week, low of the day? You wait till the next day, right? Because Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are the ones to confirm actual reversal, especially Thursday. They are the highest probability of reversals, right? But back in time, you have a lot of disbelievers, misachievers, niggers. Okay, name's having racist. Wednesday in this case reversed, right? But guess what? What confirmed it? Thursday confirmed it. Thursday reversed. Wednesday fucking didn't do it, right? That's what we're for Thursday to confirm. Thursday reversed, right? You guys get it, right? Not too complicated. Now, why did I not take a trade today? I already told you guys the answer. I'll wait for Thursday for reversals. If Wednesday does it, cool. I'll wait for Thursday because I already have my confirmation. Good, you know. And Monday I was bearish, Tuesday I was bullish, and Wednesday I was bullish. Tuesday failed, but Wednesday delivered. It's delivering right now. You could see why Tuesday failed, but Wednesday delivered. Why? Because the day trading aspects. The hard time was correct. The execution was not there, by the way, because there was the day trading must be there in order for the execution to be there, right? Day trading must come first, then execution come the second, right? Execution, the day trading aspect wasn't there, so the execution wasn't there. In this case, the hard time was there, the day trading aspect was there, and the lower time frame aspect was there. So it matters so much that you focus on everything. And this is all psychology, and the aspects of, but when like I can't focus on all of them together. Keep in mind, your mind never gets tired of fucking, thinking. You never gets tired. You never gets tired. You can go on all fucking day. You will never ever get tired. So you need to, focus on. What do you need to focus on once again? On everything, because your mind never gets tired. And thank you for watching. This was a yapping session, but it's important, right? It's important for me and for you to fucking learn, right? It's important for you to learn. It's important for you to listen to a wise man. Damn. All right. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Make sure you guys join our Telegram link in the description down below. Make sure you guys join our Discord, and I'll see you guys later.